Let's go Lions! A news story recently came out that has everyone on edge, and I'm going to give you all the details firsthand. But before we get into today's news, make sure to like this video and stick around until the end. I have a really intriguing topic to discuss today, a potential addition to our wide receiver core that could give the Lions a big boost. Let's dive right in. Okay, so let's talk about a name that might sound familiar if you followed last year's draft closely, A.T. Perry. Remember him? Perry was a guy many of us were excited about before the 2023 draft, and now, the 24-year-old receiver is unexpectedly back on the market. That's right, Perry was surprisingly released by the New Orleans Saints last week, and he was not claimed off waivers. This is an opportunity the Lions can't afford to miss. At 6 feet 5 inches and with a 4.47 40-yard dash, Perry has the size, speed, and athleticism the Lions were looking for in a true X receiver. He's exactly the kind of long-term solution that could fill our need for a big-bodied receiver on the outside. While Tim Patrick has done a solid job for us thus far, it's important to note that Patrick turns 31 next month and is only on a one-year deal. Perry, on the other hand, offers the chance to develop a younger, more sustainable option for the future. Now, let's look at what A.T. Perry has done in his short NFL career. Last season, as a rookie, he caught 12 passes for 246 yards and scored 4 touchdowns. Those may not be impressive numbers, but they're important to consider in context. He was competing for targets with guys like Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and even Alvin Kamara, all established players in the Saints offense. That didn't leave Perry much room to shine. Still, he's shown flashes of brilliance, particularly in Week 18 last year when he scored 2 touchdowns against the Falcons, looking like a future star. Imagine Perry in Detroit's offense, whether as a rotational player, depth piece, or even a developmental guy on the practice squad, he could be a valuable asset. And remember, even if he doesn't make the active roster right away, having him on the practice squad means we have a player ready to step in if we need him. He'd also be a perfect insurance policy for our current receivers, especially given the injury history of some of our key contributors. With names like Allen Robinson and Donovan Peoples-Jones in the mix, it's clear the Lions are looking for stability and reliability at the position. But Perry has more upside than either of those options, and if the Lions act quickly, they could secure a promising young talent before another team snaps him up. So what do you think, Lions fans? Should Brad Holmes make the move and bring A.T. Perry to Detroit? Do you see him fitting into our current receiving core, or do you think it's better to stick with the veteran presence we already have? Let me know in the comments below. We have some exciting injury updates coming out of Allen Park today as the Lions return from their bye week and prepare for a tough matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. So here's the good news. 2 key starters, center Frank Ragnow and safety Brian Branch, were back on the practice field on Monday. After a short break during the bye, Dan Campbell got the guys out there, shaking off the rust and focusing on the fundamentals. It's a promising sign to see both of these players back in action. Let's start with Frank Ragnow. The All-Pro center suffered a partial tear of his pectoral muscle in Week 3 against the Arizona Cardinals. Despite the injury, Ragnow still managed to finish the game like the warrior he is. But he's been out ever since, and his absence has been felt. The good news? The Lions have done a fantastic job adjusting quickly. Remember how they shuffled the line, moving Graham Glasgow to center and moving Kyoto Wasaka to guard? This lineup held its own against the Seattle Seahawks, helping the Lions give up an incredible 42 points. But having Ragnow back is a game-changer. He's one of the best at his position and the anchor of our offensive line. With him healthy and back in his spot, he gives us even more confidence going into a Dallas defense that will bring the heat. Now, Brian Branch. The rookie safety has made waves in his first year, becoming a key part of our defense. Branch's ability to block the run and break up passes has been a big part of our defensive success early in the season. In fact, he already has a team-high 22 tackles and 7 passes defended in just 3 games. That's elite production for a first-year player. Unfortunately, Branch had to miss the Week 4 game against the Seahawks due to an illness. There was some confusion at first, as he was dealing with a concussion earlier, but Campbell made it clear that his absence had nothing to do with concussion protocol. He simply wasn't well enough to play. Seeing him back in practice is a great sign, and it looks like he'll be ready to play this week. Having Branch back in the secondary is great. The Cowboys are no joke when it comes to their passing game, and with guys like CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks lining up on the other side, we need our best defenders there. Branch's ability to cover ground quickly and make plays on the ball will be crucial if the Lions are going to slow down the Dallas offense. Of course, we won't get the official injury report until Wednesday, so we'll have to keep an eye on how these guys progress throughout the week. But for now, it's encouraging to see Ragnow and Branch back on the field and participating in practice. What do you think, Lions fans? How great is it to have Frank Ragnow and Brian Branch back in the fold as we prepare for the Cowboys? Do you think they will make the difference we need to get another big win? Now let's dive into something a little different, an inside look at what Dan Campbell, our fearless leader, likes to do when he's not completely consumed by football. WXYZ Detroit's Brad Golly recently sat down with head coach Campbell for a candid interview, where they covered a variety of topics, including what Campbell likes to do during his rare moments of downtime. Now, if you followed the Lions over the past 2 years, you know how intense Campbell is when it comes to training. The guy lives and breathes football, but even he has to step away every now and then to recharge. When the NFL schedule was first released, many in and around the Lions community let out a collective groan. An early bye week? Not exactly what you want for a team with serious playoff and championship aspirations. But as it turns out, the early downtime came just when we needed it. The Lions are off to a 3-1 start, but it hasn't been without a few bumps and bruises along the way. Star players like All-Pro center Frank Ragnow and rookie safety Brian Branch sat out our Week 4 win over the Seahawks. They needed the offseason to recover, just like the rest of the team. During the offseason, Campbell got a chance to relax a bit. And what does he do when he's not coming up with game plans or motivating the guys in the locker room? He goes to the movies. Yes, you heard that right. In the interview with Brad Golly, Campbell spoke about his love for the movie theater experience. As much access as you have at home, I still love being able to go in and grab some popcorn, grab your Coke, recline your seat, Campbell shared. There's something about the big screen that helps him switch off and relax for a few hours before diving back into football mode. It's refreshing to see Campbell this way because we usually see him so focused and intense, but he's also human, and finding that balance between work and relaxation is just as important for a coach as it is for the players. Hopefully the time away from the game has helped recharge your batteries because, let's be real, the road ahead isn't getting any easier. With the bye behind us, it's time for the Lions to turn their full focus to their upcoming Week 5 matchup with the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be a high-stakes matchup, and we'll need Campbell and the rest of the team at full throttle to come out on top. But if there's one thing we know about Dan Campbell, it's that he'll always give it his all, whether he's coaching on the sidelines or just relaxing with a good movie in his downtime. What about you, Lions fans? What do you like to do to relax and take your mind off the game when the team isn't in action? And do you think the early bye week came at the right time for us? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with the latest Lions news and updates. Go Lions!